Wide is the path that leads to congestion and car dependency, and many go there, while narrow is the path towards better mobility for all, and few reach it. For so many are condemned that F tier needs to be split into F plus and F minus. Unrepentant grave sins that would condemn a city include, but are not limited to, failure to provide basic all-day public transport, both local and external, failure to provide basic levels of walkability, failure to integrate new development with existing local communities, removing transit, rejecting transit, and severe traffic congestion. Not having access to basic facilities such as hospitals is also a grave sin, but that generally doesn't happen in the suburbs mentioned, so we will be focused on transit and walkability. Also, if I missed something, we need to go through 14 cities, so we'll be quick. Each city will then get its own video sometime in the future that covers the details. Also, for transparency's sake, I will add markers on the top right corner to show what experience I had there. I have been to all the suburbs here, and in fact I'm a resident of one of them. I'll disclose whether I've been there by driving, public transport, or both, and how frequently I go there. In F-, we have Alam Sutera, located on the border between South Tangerang and Tangerang City. Alam Sutera is well known for Living Road, IKEA, Binus, and lots of greenery. This suburb used to run a local shuttle bus called Sutera Loop. Operations ceased when COVID hit, and it's now reduced to lunchtime service only. The south side of the city, although very green, is not very walkable, due to the place being only residential areas with many people living well over a kilometer from the nearest grocery store. Congestion along the main east-west boulevard is pretty bad on weekends. Also in F-, we have Kota Wisata, located in Gunung Putri, Bogor, home to Living World, again, and not having that many attractions despite the word Wisata aka tourism in their name. Zero internal public transport, external bus services to Harjamukti LRT station and Blok M have limited weekday departures, severe congestion in Transyogi, air quality is questionable due to proximity to Bantar Gebang landfill, which means if the wind is blowing in the wrong way, you will smell trash. Zoning is a bit hit and miss. Some people, like those in Madrid, live way too far from the nearest grocery store. Kota Wisata is built in a straight line, which makes it ideal for bus service. One line could serve 2/3 of the city, but they decide not to do that, which is a waste. Lastly, in F-, we have Sentul City, Bogor, known for Ion Mall, Taman Budaya, and Jungle Land Theme Park. It is also known for legal issues with landowners. Public transport, they have Transpakuan and Transjabodetabek to the west. East of Jabar Nulmos, however, and there's no bus. Someone needs to run buses from Jungle Land, passing by the main road west and terminating in Bogor City or Harjamukti, because clearly people live here and non-locals want to go here due to the many tourist destinations. Wasted potential for transit. I get the appeal of Sentul. It's not crowded, the weather is nice, but if everyone drives, those smooth empty roads and clean air won't survive the next 10 years. In F+, we have Citra Raya, Tangerang Regency, home to Citra Raya Water World, and Multiputra Tangerang. I have discussed this place in a previous video, but I revised my score. This place, despite its adequate local service, extensive GR connection service, decent mixed zoning, and sidewalks, it has one glaring issue. It's a pain in the rear end to get there. There's severe congestion in the Jakarta Merak Highway and Jalan Serang Pantura. This place is great if you don't have to commute. Next, we have Pantai in the Kapuk, aka Pig, located in North Jakarta and Tangerang Regency, and home to Pig Avenue, Land's End, and way too many culinary areas. Let's get Pig 1 out of the way. It has direct Transjakarta access, and although zoning could be better, as some people live too far from the nearest grocery store, it is decent and it would get D or C tier. Pig 2, however, can only be accessed via Pig 1 or the soon to be completed highway. There's also a small road from Tangerang Regency that leads to Pig, but I've never used that access, so I can't confirm its quality. This segregation from the rest of Tangerang Regency and limited access results in awful congestion on weekends in Gulf Island and in front of Pig Avenue. However, they do have a pretty decent bus network with roughly hourly service. It varies quite a bit, and live tracking. I have not tried the buses, but the app for live tracking seems pretty good compared to BSD's One Smile and Bintaro's 360 Living. External connections, however, are a bit difficult, as Pig is located pretty far from any kind of rail-based rapid transit, and JRC services have limited departures. In F+, we have Gading Serpong, home of Mall SMS, car stands, and the campus with the 2 dinosaur eggs. They got rid of the shuttle bus. I do not mourn it as it is useless, but it shows the disordered priorities of the developers and local government. External bus lines to Jakarta and Citra Raya have limited departures. When it comes to walkability, most people do live within walking distance of a grocery store, but sidewalks either don't exist or are too narrow. Some clusters have weird layouts that cause people who live at the back of the cluster to have to walk 800 plus meters just to get out. Congestion in the surrounding areas such as Jalan Legok and Serpong Raya is bad. Last in F+ is Lippo Karawaci, located in the border between Tangerang City and Tangerang Regency and known for Super Mall Karawaci and having part of the city be a former racetrack. Located right next to the highway, having direct Transjakarta access along with multiple angkot lines, it does sound like a decent place in terms of transit, but the traffic congestion in Jalan Rego Karawaci is atrocious. During rush hour, it could take 30 minutes to travel between Lippo Karawaci and Gading Serpong, a distance of around 5 kilometers. The Jakarta Merak Toll Road is also severely congested. There are places in Jakarta with better traffic flow than Lippo Karawaci. Overall walkability is decent as long as you ignore the ring of mansions that surround the golf course. In E tier, we have Puri Indah in West Jakarta, known for having 3 malls in a small area. While some residential areas and most of the main malls and offices have transit access, from here, the bus lines only go north and east. If you're trying to access this area from the south, you might have problems. Please extend the 1M to Puri Indah or at highway side bus stops near Lippo Mall Puri for regional lines like the S11. It takes 30 to 50 minutes to drive from my house in Gading Serpong to Puri Indah. It takes 90 to 120 minutes by transit. Walkability is not great as the road layout in the north seems to be somewhat segregated from the surrounding areas, but there are worse examples. The north side is mainly housing with few commercial areas. What is the problem is congestion in Jalan Kembangan Raya, Lippo Mall Puri, and the Jakarta Merak Highway. Next in E tier, we have Pondok Indah, probably the most expensive neighborhood in this tier list, and known for Pondok Indah Mall. They're here for one reason only. There are no separated bus lanes in Pondok Indah, and I suspect that NIMBYism has something to do with it, as there was some resistance from residents when Corridor 8 was first built. Supposedly, it's to protect the trees, but I don't see how adding separators would require the removal of trees. Thanks to their NIMBYism, 15 years later, I get stuck in traffic when going to Pondok Indah Mall. Besides that, walkability and transit is decent. Literally the only thing they need to do to reach C tier is to add separated bus lanes along Metro Pondok Indah. Moving to D tier, we have BSD City, located in South Tangerang and Tangerang Regency and known for Ion Mall, Ice and Ocean Park. It has direct access to the KRL Rangkas Bitung line in Rawabuntu and Cisauk stations. The east side has angkots, while the west has infrequent but still generally usable BSD Link buses. When it comes to walkability, the west suffers from too much segregation of residential and commercial areas, while the east has poor pedestrian infrastructure. West BSD also has a bad habit of separating local communities and villages with new development by building bridges over existing village roads and not connecting them with ramps. This is nowhere near as bad as Picto. You can survive living in most parts of BSD without a motor vehicle or excessive taxi rides, but it's not going to be pleasant. Still in D tier, we have Summarecon Bekasi, located in downtown Bekasi and known for SMB Mall. You will think that Summarecon Bekasi would get a much higher score thanks to all the transit here, being the terminus of the B11, Trans Patriot Line 1, and 2 Royal Trans lines. But Summarecon Bekasi seems to have completely segregated the western side of the city from the rest of Bekasi. Is this level of segregation really necessary? Every cluster already has its own gate with a security checkpoint. Despite being only 600 meters apart, if you want to get from your home in Bluebell to Karanji Station, you will need to walk for 5 kilometers or over an hour. Speaking of the Karang Line stations, there is no public transport connecting SMB Mall with Bekasi Station. In C tier, we have Bintaro Jaya, also includes Graha Raya, located in South Tangerang and known for Bintaro Exchange Mall and the Aviary Park. While pretty similar to BSD in terms of transit, combining angkots, infrequent shuttle buses, and direct access to Rangkas Bitung line via Jurang Mangu and Pondok Ranji stations, Bintaro Exchange Mall, which is connected by a gorgeous tunnel to Jurang Mangu station, is one of the few malls that do not treat transit riders like second-class citizens. Bintaro has also done a better job of integrating local communities with newer development. In Trans Bintaro, however, the local shuttle bus does have some issues as bus tracking sometimes doesn't work. The Graha Raya line frequently doesn't run, with bus tracking saying that the bus is in Kebayoran, Jakarta, and I have seen buses depart not on schedule. Speaking of Graha Raya, there have been reports of poor sidewalk quality there. There's a shuttle bus from Graha Raya to Puri Beta, but its frequency makes it borderline useless. Bintaro Jaya is the only city to provide separated bicycle lanes. Also in C tier, we have Kelapa Gading, located in North Jakarta and known for more Kelapa Gading and occasionally going underwater. Kelapa Gading has pretty good local transit, as the city is full of frequent microtrans lines. It is flanked by Corridor 10 to the west and Corridor 2 to the south. LRT Jakarta is currently being extended to Manggarai, allowing transfers to the Bogor, Cikarang, and airport lines. Walkability is a bit mixed. Kelapa Gading has some of the worst pedestrian infrastructure in Greater Jakarta, as most roads do not have sidewalks. However, zoning is pretty mixed, so most people can walk to the grocery store. Kelapa Gading is built in a grid, so you generally won't find weird convoluted road layouts that quadruple someone's walking distance to the shop. In B tier, we have Kebayoran Baru, South Jakarta. Now, Kebayoran Baru is not a suburb now, but it used to be in the 1950s. Local transit consists of non-BRT and microtrans lines, while you have the MRT North-South line, Rangkas Bitung line, and Transjakarta corridors 1, 8, and 13 for external connections. Walkability is generally good for Jakarta standards. Some residential areas are kind of far from commercial areas, but sidewalks are in generally decent shape for Jakarta standards. Their biggest advantage is that Kebayoran Baru isn't full of gated clusters and dead ends. No unnecessarily long walks here. One problem is that congestion in some parts is pretty bad. It's not necessarily a grave sin since you do have options such as the MRT and Transjakarta's BRT services. Plus, if you do want to drive, the city's more open layout means there are alternative routes you can take. Some cities are easier to fix than others. Gading Serpong, for example, presumably due to its design being partially taken from Kelapa Gading, has mixed zoning and could easily obtain C tier by just running a proper bus service and building a bunch of sidewalks. West BSD and Peak 2, however, have been built with too much segregation of housing and commercial and between new and existing development. Fixing them will be harder as the bones of the city are already built wrong. What's not a solution is moving out. I've heard this story too many times. Someone moves out from Jakarta to some suburb in Tangerang or Bogor to escape traffic. 10 years later, said suburb now has awful traffic since the design forces everyone to drive.